Hello boxing fans, right now I'm talking Tyson Fury versus David Price. The fight is not happening. It's not what we wanted. We expected this fight to go through. And to be honest, I'm a bit shocked that it didn't. Both had so much to gain from this, and there's bad blood between them. That's why I thought they should have fought. But you know, they haven't. So if you don't already know, Tyson Fury's decided, instead of defending his titles, the British and Commonwealth titles, against David Price, he will instead vacate both titles and move on to the world scene and try and fight for a world title. Now you see, that leaves David Price looking for another opponent. So obviously I had to do some Scooby-Doo shit, and I found the actual list of people who can fight for the Commonwealth title. And obviously the British title, well, we all know who that will be. It'll be a British boxer. So David Price, being the #1 contender, can pick one of the following just to pick for the Commonwealth title. If he wants to fight for the British title, he'll have to do the same for the British title. I don't know if he's going to fight for them both at the same time. I think right now he's just fighting for the Commonwealth, as far as I'm aware. But if he does fight for both of them, I'll put you at your misery. It'll be Sam Sexton. Okay, so he can fight a bunch of people, and going through them now, I'm just going to go through all the names and break down the list. So the first opponent he can pick is Alex Lipai from Samoa, who has 125, 20 wins by way of knockout, to 3 losses, 1 by way of knockout, and 3 draws. The second name is Kirston Manswell of Trinidad and Tobago. He is 122, 17 by way of knockout, lost 4, only 1 by way of knockout, but has lost his last fight to Ruslan Chagayev, so this guy is probably a last resort really. Next guy on the list, Tyson Vacates. Yes, I know you probably heard of that name. He lost his last fight to Tyson Fury, so this is an also unlikely one. He's 116, 5 by knockout, lost 1 by KO to Tyson Fury, so I doubt it'll be him. Next on the list is Sam Sexton of England. He's 115, 6 by way of knockout, lost 2, both by knockout, drawn none, and that's a 17 fight record, and he was a former Commonwealth title, 4 for both the British title and the Commonwealth title, and is ranked quite highly by both, so I think he's the #1 pick. Next on the list is also from England, and it's Michael Sprott, what would you call him, a journeyman? Glorified journeyman, yeah. He's lost his last match, he's lost a few on the bounce I think, but he's still a good opponent with a 36 wins, 17 by way of knockout, lost 18, 9 by knockout, drawn none, and that's a 54 fight record. Now here's where my pronunciation of boxers goes all haywire, because this guy's Canadian, a French Canadian I think. Bermain Steven, I don't know. Sorry if I've got that totally wrong. Anyway, he's got a 21 fight record, 21 wins, sorry, 20 by way of knockout, so he's a huge banger. 1 loss by knockout and 1 draw. Now, I see this one as an unlikely fight, as he's got a good world ranking. I think he's ranked in the top 20 in the world. On paper, it looks like he could win a fight with Price, so I don't see why he would go backwards in his career, if you understand what I mean. Next on the list is Carlos Takam of Cameroon. He's 124 fights, 19 by way of knockout, lost 1, and that was a points loss. That's a 25 fight record. He's lost in his most recently to Tony Gregory, who has actually lost to Robert Helenius and Mike Perez. So I don't know where he is in his career, but he sounds like an okay opponent for David Price. And this one is one of the ones I'd like to see now. Are you ready? David Tua. He's 152, 43 by way of knockout, lost 4, drawn 2. You see, I'd like to see this fight because it looks good on paper. In reality, it's probably not, and it would also be very hard to make. And David Tua has lost his last fight, but that's even more of a reason for him to bounce back, in my opinion. And lastly, this is the last name on the list: Sherman Williams of the Bahamas. Sorry, can't help myself. He's 134, knocked out 19, lost 11, only 1 by way of knockout, and drawn 2. So he most recently fought Evander Holyfield, and that was a no contest, but he was winning that fight. He does seem to have good fights. and he does lose, but not really ever by KO. So it would be one to see if Price can KO him really. There were two other names on the list, being Derek Chisora and John McDermott. McDermott just lost the Price, and Chisora's got a fight lined up against Vitaly Klitschko. I don't think he'll cancel the Klitschko fight to fight Price, really, do you? So yeah, I do have sympathy with Price, because, well, whoever he faces, it's not going to give him the same, what's the word to use, the same glory that a scalp over Fury would have given him. So I've narrowed it down to three names I'd like to see him pick. The first one would be Bearmain Steven. Oh, can't get his name right at all. Right. If that fight cannot be made, and I doubt it will be, because I doubt he'll go backwards in his career to fight Price, I think the next option would be the best one, and that would be Sam Sexton. You see, he wants his old titles back. He's been in the top 20 rated in the world. He's rated by the British and Commonwealth before, and it'll be a good test for Price. Be a good fight. Or if that one can't be made, bring in Sam Sexton. No, don't bring in Sam Sexton. I've just said that. Bring in David Tua. It's the last chance saloon for the Kiwi, so he has to give it his all. And they both have weaknesses that they could both take advantage of. So it'll be a great fight. So that's what I think about David Price. Now moving on to Tyson Fury. I've narrowed down a few names for Fury, and I think these would be some good people for him to fight. Fury, he's got to fight another guy who's like around his own world ranking, or at least better than David Price. So I'm thinking Franklin Lawrence, 117, 12 by way of knockout, lost 2, drawn 2. I'm thinking that'll be a good fight. However, I don't think Franklin would fight him. Then there's a guy called Andrei Pala from the Czech Republic. He's 130, 21 by way of knockout, to 2 losses, and one of those losses by knockout. I think that'll be a good fight for Fury. Real good test. The guy's lost one of his big fights, and he's made his way back into the world rankings, and he's looking to really take advantage now. So Fury should really step up and try and put him down. Another guy, and this is probably the best option, will be Ruslan Chagayev. You see, Chagayev, he's always dropped at the highest level, and I think really he should be aiming at Fury, because that would be someone he could really take advantage of, and Fury should be aiming for Chagayev, as he is a former world champion. He is a gatekeeper of the division right now, and basically if you beat him you're good, if you don't beat him you're shit. That's how it goes right now. Two other names I've got on the list, Michael Grant and Sam Peter. Michael Grant's 148, 36 by way of knockout, to 4 defeats, 3 by knockout. That'll be a good fight, and I think Michael Grant will be willing to travel, or even Fury will be willing to travel. Either way, I think it's a good fight that could happen. They both have good skill, they both look like they could fight each other, and they're both a physical match for each other. Lastly, obviously Sam Peter, 34 wins, 27 by way of knockout, to 5 losses, 3 by way of knockout. You see, Peterson's on the slip, and basically he's always been one-dimensional. If you can get past his power game, or you can neutralise his power game, you've always had him beat. And I think Fury would end up slugging it out with him. I think they'll make a really good match, to be honest, and I really don't like Sam Peter, so I think that'll be a good match to watch. Last shout, really, the last shout will be maybe Hasim Rahman. The guy rejected the 100k to fight Fury last year. Let me tell you, who is he to reject the 100k? I mean, I'll fight my sister for 100k. And you know, maybe he should prove that he deserves a shot at the world title against a young gun like Fury before throwing himself in there with the Povetkin and Hook winner. Either way, Fury has to step up now. If you're not fighting Price, you've got to fight someone better, in my opinion. So tell me who you think Price should fight for the titles, or tell me who you think Fury should fight, because unfortunately they're not fighting each other.